Hey guys, it's Nospaniol, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how you can create a date picker. So date pickers are useful in a form where you don't have to type the date directly, but you can just select any date, and when you select this date you can submit it. Maybe you are supposed to select your birthday, maybe it's a login application you want to create, maybe it's just an application that you are supposed to submit some values that contain some date values, like a library management system, the issue date and the receiving date of any book. So I'll teach you how you can do this in JavaFX and FXML. So right away we'll create a new project and in NetBeans. So I'll be using NetBeans. So JavaFX and then JavaFX FXML application. Select next, and then now type in the name of our new project, and then date picker. That will be the name of our application. And always make sure now. So always make sure it is just located wherever where you want it to be located, and then now you can select finish. So we can create the project. So now we have a controller class file, an FXML file, and the main Java class file. And I've always told you it's the main Java class file because it contains the main method. Now the controller class file does not contain the main class file, and you can see we have a label and it has these annotations, meaning it is in the FXML file. So what we'll be doing now, it is simple. Now let us expand this part here, and then after expanding this package date picker, now let us open this FXML file in the scene builder. So remember, if you want to edit the FXML file, it is just okay, so long as you come to the main Java class file and do the same and edit the changes. So now select the button on the label and delete it. So select this uncaption, let us resize it. And then here we will resize it something like that. Then I'll need a VBox. So I'll want to show you now two scenarios in a VBox of this date picker. Now after placing the VBox, now right click it or fit it to the parent. Now what I want to show you is this, that just for example, you are supposed to select your birthday, and then you know you cannot select a future date, and you want to limit the user or the person who is supposed to be adding this form from selecting a future date. Or maybe you are creating a form that someone is supposed to select the date of issue, or the date of prayer day or something like that. You cannot select a date that is already passed. So these are the two scenarios. First, after adding that date picker, I just first of all add the text. I forgot to add the text, so we want this text to act as our label. So this is the text, and then I'll add it inside the VBox, and then just above the date picker, and then now I can change the value of the text, and then now say select your birthday, and then I'll change the font. So let me choose Arial Black, and I'll increase the font size to something like 39. And after doing that, now I'll come and increase the size of this date picker, something like that, and I'll also add the a prompt text and select, and I'll type in select date, something like that. And then I'll come to this VBox again, and then come to the alignment and align it everything to be center, the top center, and then select the date picker and the text, and then come to the layout, and then align give a margin of 20 to all of them, so that at least they can give each other some space. So and then again we'll need a button. The button will be for getting the selected item in the date picker. So I'm going to show you two ways you can get these values. One, in an event that has occurred to the Java to the node date picker dot, and one that you can just get it using a button. So one, this is the button. Let us rename the text and say submit. And then after doing that, now this is the date picker. I can decide to increase the size, and then this one will be submitting it to some screen. So we'll need a screen, and as usual, I always use a text field. So I'll just type in text field. Sorry about that. So text field, and I'll drop this text field inside this inside the VBox. So I'll just increase the size, put a margin of about 10 to all the sides, and then properties, and then here I'll uncheck it so that it is not editable, and then again I'll come and check it so that it can be more transparent. So once you do that, now we will need another date picker. So the reason I want to put another date picker is because there is another scenario. So first of all, I'll put a text so that you can notify us what is the thing you're supposed to select, and then now a text. So let us drop this text inside the VBox again, and then I will come to the properties here and they change the values, and I will change the values, and I'll say maybe select your prayer day. So maybe there's some future prayer day you are planning, that is if you pray. Then select the family, the font family, Arial black, and then you can decide the style, and then I'll increase just the font to something like 32, something like that. And then I'll also add a date picker. Then I'll add this date picker inside below the text, and then in this date picker I'll give it a date, like select date, and then I'll increase the size, and then we will also need a text field. So this text field will act as our second screen. So and we'll drop it below the date picker, and then this text field will select it so that it is not editable, and it should be more transparent. So this property, then let us select all these three items, but you see we don't have enough space. So we will increase the size of our anchor pane. We'll increase only the height to something like that, and then after doing that, now select your date picker first and the text, and then come to the layout, put a margin of about 20 from each other on all sides. Okay. So after doing that, now I think you can see now our items are now visible. Now we can just increase the size of the date picker if you want, so, and even the height of the date picker. So once you do that, now we'll now give it some ID. So far so good, we have something like this. You can select the date, and you can decide this date picker not to be editable. So let me select the second date picker so that it is not editable, so that you can see the difference between a editable date picker or that one that is not editable. So again, the second date picker does not need a method, because we'll be just giving it an action event. So to do that, now let us go to the code. Now select the first date picker. Now come to the code, here, and then give it an ID like birth date, so something like that, and then now then give it in the submit button. Now here we'll give it a method, an action event. So this one will be display birthday, and then the first screen I'll call it screen 1. So screen 1, and now select the second date picker, and then give it an ID like prayer day, and then here on the same date picker I'll give it an action event. So you can decide any type of event you want in Java, but for us, we want that whenever someone just selects something in the date picker, what type of method should it run. So if this one will be display prayer, so that's it. After doing that, now come to the second text field, and then you can put an ID, not an event. So an ID, give it an FX ID like screen 2. So after doing that, save your progress, then come back to NetBeans, right click the FXML file and make the controller. And you can see now our label here, it no longer exists. It doesn't have that FXML annotation again because we deleted it from the FXML file, so it is actually irrelevant. And then let us come back now, because now we have at FXML screen 1, so meaning there's some error here. This first text should be given an ID, not an action event. So we'll just give this an ID, screen 1, something like that. Now let us come to the FXML file after making the changes and make the controller. Yeah, now we are good to go. We have the first date picker, the second date picker, the first screen and the second screen here. So after doing that, now first we'll be displaying the birth date. Now this is how you get the birth date. You'll be using local date. So local date, that's type of data type, and then let us call it b date. The birth date is equals to birth. I don't know the ID. We call, oh, that was the ID. Just copy it. Birth date dot get value into bracket. Then that's it. That's how you get the date from a date picker, and then you can import the local date data type library. So after doing that, now we can decide to check if this date first of all is, so let us write first. Let us now check and validate this the selected date. So if b date equals to null, meaning that no one has selected anything, or now or in Java you use two straight slashes, and then or b date is after today, like so to get the value of today, this is how we do. You get the local date of today. So I'll call local date today, then is equals to, so to get the current date, or you just say local date dot now, then into brackets. So this is the code that gets the current date, and then now is b date is, so is b date is after, meaning it is after today, meaning so after today, like is in the future. You cannot select a birth date that is in the future. So now what so we will display it in the first screen. So I'll say screen 1 dot set text into brackets, and I'll say put some message like please select a valid date. So once you do that, I can put a semicolon, else, meaning that someone now selected the date selected is not valid. We'll now convert this local date, the selected date, into some string value so that you can display it in the screen and the text field screen 1, because only text fields all values of text field all values of data type strings and text. So what we'll do, just say string date equals to, now just type in the string pointer value of, now this is the conversion of from a local date into a string. So type in the selected local date, so b date. So after doing that, now let us display it in the second text field, so in the first text field. So screen 1 dot set text, and into quotes I'll put in the message. Now I'll say you are born in or on, sorry, so on, and then plus sign and add the second the string of the selected date, and that's it. So that's it so far. So let us build the application and see what we have in the progress. So once our build is successful, now you can just come and run the file. So now here we have, and you can see this one you cannot edit, but this one you can edit because you can see the cursor. Because we chose this one not to be editable, so that's the difference. Now let us select a date, like tomorrow first, and then when we submit, it gives us a message, please select a valid date, because today is the 21st of October 2017, the day I'm creating this video, and then I never select the date that is before today, and you can see you were born on 27, so it got the value from the selected item, and that's one way you can get the selected item. It's a Datepicker, and that's another way. Now you can see now how to validate or check if the Datepicker someone has selected the right item, if it is not in the future tense, or if you want to restrict someone for selecting from the future tense. So the second one, we want to restrict the users from selecting a date from the past, that only him or her can select a current date or a future date, because the prior date can be only in the future or the current date, and it will be getting that value without using a button and submitting it in the second text field. So to do that, now let us come to this the second method, public void display prior, and this one will be taking an action event. So this action event is the click button that will be, or when you select that item, that is an action event in Java. So to do that, now we'll be now even typing in. Let us now get the current date. So like local date today is equals to local date dot now. So when you get that, now let us get the selected date from the second Datepicker. So, and I'll say p date, the prior date equals to prior day dot get value. Now after doing that, now let us check now if this p date. So we'll do some validation here and check if the p date equals to null, meaning that no one has selected anything in that p date, or the p date is in the past. So if p date is before, so it is before today, meaning that it is in the past. So I'll just type in the p date and then I'll type in the name of the today. So if that is the case, now it will display some message in the second text field. You can decide to use an alert of type error, but I've decided to use the second text field, so screen 2, that is it. So let us type in some message here. Please select a valid date. So after doing that, now we are good to go. Then now we can decide an else action. So else meaning that now someone didn't select an invalid date. So let us type in what should happen. First of all, we will need to convert this local the date selected into a string. So I'll say string date equals to, now string, this is how you convert it, the value of now the date of the selected, that is p date, the one we selected, and p date, and then now let us give it and display this message in the second screen. Now the screen 2, so the second text field. So set text. So remember these screens are just text fields, so just use the same method used in text fields, and we'll say now your prior day is, and then can give it some space, and then now let us type in the value of the date, and when you do that, now you're good to go. So you're good to go, and let us build the application again and see what happens. So that's it, and now let us run this application and see the progress. So when you select now for the first scenario, remember we are selecting the birth date. So you can select today or date in the past. And for this one, you cannot select a date in the past. So let us select a date in the past, because today is on the 21st of on the 20th of October 2017. Now, when you select a date in the past, you can see it now invalidates and it gives us a message. Please select a valid date, because and when you select a date from the future, and you can say the prior day is on the 27th or 2017. November on the 3rd. So that was it about JavaFX and the FXML date picker. So you can now use this application to manipulate and create even bigger applications that will be using date pickers, and you can include these date pickers in your forms. Maybe you are in a registration form or something like that, in a library management system or anything that is of that sort. So that was it about date pickers. So I hope this tutorial assisted you in your programming and making softwares. So that was it about date pickers. Let us meet in the next tutorial. Remember to subscribe and watch this channel every time, because you can learn more things about Java.